Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman. And if you can hear the noise, you know where we are. We're at the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island, and we're here for the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce's annual policy conference. And we have Scott Hiipakka with us right now. Scott, it is always good to see you. How you doing?
I'm great, sir. Great to see you, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today. And what a great event. What awesome weather we have up here at the policy conference.
You know, it's often said that to get this group of people together anywhere else would take you 10 or 12 years of your life.
It's amazing what the opportunities that this conference represents.
Yeah, it really is. And it's the first time I've seen political and business cross-sectioned, and that's really good.
And that's the value of this event. My personal opinion is just how it brings together so many of the state's dynamic leaders from all over the state of Michigan, and just to host some really good, and some very challenging conversations, bringing people together.
Yeah,
phenomenal opportunity.
Well, listen, tell people what you're doing now, and then I want to go back a little bit in your career.
Sure. So now I lead a consulting company here in Michigan. We really specialize on organizational optimization to support how companies, nonprofits, how government can really reach peak performance and meeting what I call these pivotal moments. How can they either meet stagnation and really exceed it, right? So break through sort of self-imposed ceilings. Sometimes it's really about the alignment of people, process, systems, and strategy, Chris. And when an organization or your family gets out of alignment, you feel it. Same thing in business. But you got to identify where the issues are, and that's what I can do. My background's unique. 30 years of military service, 30 years of corporate experience, bringing all that together to help CEOs and others lead.
Well, and that's why I said we want to go back, because I wanted to bring in the military. They have the greatest leadership programs on the planet. They really do. You had to benefit from that.
I'm blessed, and so many individuals have invested in my success over the course of my career. And, there's so many different individuals that just care. And so when you look at the Michigan National Guard and as a citizen soldier and what we do, we have a corporate life, we have our military life, and we also have a family. So like most people juggle just a couple things, we as citizen soldiers have to juggle three. And it's always our families, thank God for their support and what we do, and our employers, how we get an opportunity to serve our state, serve our nation. I'm lucky to be able to do it for so many years, and just it's great.
Well, so being up here makes a great deal of sense. I mean, not only are you seeing some of your clients up here, but you're probably prospecting for other clients.
Yeah, I certainly am. And the opportunity to really network with CEOs and other elected leaders, as well as just nonprofit leadership around the state. It really what makes this unique is the unique climate that you can have. Just if you think about the porch as an example, the porch here at the Grand, what a phenomenal opportunity to just sit down and have a casual conversation with people about things that really matter, right? As we look at the state of Michigan, moving things forward in a unique and dynamic way, but also solving some of our really complex problems at the basic level, all the way up to the very strategic. And we do that in the military side of my life, right? Trying to tackle complex problems, but then move things forward.
All right. So listen, one of the problems we find we do a thing called the Michigan Future Business Index, which Sinair sponsors, thankfully. We do it every 6 months. It's gone from we can't get applicants, we can't get people, to we're not hiring, but we're desperate for talent.
Right.
Which is saying something.
Right.
That workforce is not quite ready.
Well, so as we look at our workforce today, and I have a 23-year-old and a 26-year-old, right, for my kids, and what's changing the dimension right now is AI and what artificial intelligence is doing. I'm actually currently in a course right now through MIT exploring what's called applied agentics. And that's the application of these agents. And that's really what's going to change the workforce. So what we need to be able to think about is how do we upskill and upscale and make sure that our younger generation has some of the skill sets to be able to navigate that. But also as we think about what it means for them, and then for older folks like me, right, as we think about where we are today and how do we meet this moment. It's almost like the horse and buggy and the automobile. And as we think about how do we leverage that evolution and then take advantage of it so we can harness opportunity now.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So you work with CEOs. You got to get into HR departments too, I would think.
So we touch on, so my role really, we focus on operations, HR. There's a lot of different areas because, again, it's when you think about just people, process, systems, and strategy, those 4 areas, right? The people side of it, that is business. You're dealing with humans, whether you're in the manufacturing space or whether you're in the consulting space or whether you're in government. It's all about how people interact, building trust and genuine relationships. That ultimately matters because the organizations are built on climate and culture. I talked about that last week. I do a weekly thing called Always Forward Friday. It's a lot of fun. But last week I talked about climate and culture and the difference between them. So we think about what this represents in businesses and people. That's where our state can win. If we take advantage of the skill sets that we have, what I call Team Michigan, a lot of people call it that. How does Team Michigan win? By first trust and then building genuine relationships to move the state forward.
You're absolutely right. All right. We got about 30 seconds. How do people get a hold of you?
They can reach out to me on either through LinkedIn. My email is my last name, Hiipakka at Access Point Advisors. You can go to my website, www.accesspointadv.com. Thanks for the opportunity to speak with you today, Chris. I love our conversation.
Great to have you here. Keep up the good work,
Thank
buddy.
you, sir.
We need
Appreciate it. Thank
All
you.
right. All right. Scott Hiipakka. I'm Chris Holman, and we are coming to you from the Grand Hotel, where we are attending the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce's annual policy conference. And we will be back with more.